Guten Morgen, hot potters. You join us today in the Schwarzenmann area of the Eifel region of Germany. This is where we're staying, and we're going to go on a little bit of a walk now and have a look at some old World War II ruins of the former Westerwald, or West Wall, which was built by Germany just before the Second World War, supposedly to protect Germany from the rest of Europe. That didn't really work out. It should have been the other way around, shouldn't it? Now, before I go any further, I do have to apologise. We've been having Wi-Fi problems, or Wi-Fi as they call it here. The myth of German ruthless invincibility has been smashed. It doesn't work, unfortunately. So we'll just have to plod on. Hopefully it'll be made right today and I can upload these videos. I'll probably upload 2 straight away and then we can carry on from there. But we'll see how we go. You know, there's not much you can do about it. Why let it spoil your holiday? So let's plod on and have a look at these ruins, shall we? Come on, you two. Off we go. So here we are at the first of these bunkers. They would have been in a long line all the way along. Some of them have been demolished as they've got in the way, but as you can see, look at the thickness of that concrete. You know, it'll take some doing to demolish them. So they've left a lot of them in place. None of them are in situ and how they was back in the day, simply because at the end of the war they blew them all up. They made sure as the Germans would never ever again use these as defence bunkers. Now, we're inside Germany here. They didn't build them right on the border, they built them on their side. So Belgium, I'm assuming, is over that way. This one would have held 15 men back in the day, and 1 machine gun. And then there would be one further up. And they just form a long line, basically, of armed men that was supposedly defending Germany in the fatherland. Like I said, back there, I think it should have been the other way type of thing. It was us that needed protecting from them. So we'll push on, because there's some more that are a bit more impressive. Apparently now, what they've done, the reason these fences are around is not to keep people out as such from getting hurt. It's because they're actual habitats for nature now. Bats and that live in there. So you're not allowed to climb over. But I think on some of them the fencings are down, and where they're down I'll sneak in and we'll have a little look. So come on, let's go. This is the other side of that bunker. And as you can see down there, I think that's where the men would have gone in. That would have been the entrance into it. That bit of a steel pipe in the middle there would probably be part of the ventilation system. Because you'd still need it. It would be pretty muggy and dank down there. Yeah, so as I said, the thickness of the concrete on these is amazing when you come to look at it. I mean, you know, if you owned a concreting company in Germany back in them days, I bet you were minted. But yeah, look at the reinforcing in it as well. A lot of it's now rotting, what's been exposed. Where Rosie's going in there, she's exploring for us. Betreten Angela verboten. We're about halfway down of these ruins now, coming along this path. Now as you can see, this one here behind me, just look how nature's took that back over. I mean, they fenced that one off good and proper, so perhaps because it's on a main path they've put a big fence around it, or maybe there's actually, you know, endangered species or something in there. I don't know. But no, it doesn't take long for nature to take it all back. Well, I should imagine all this would have been open at one time. You know, now there's a forest here type of thing. So we're going to push on to the best bits, the ones where it's more open and you can have a good little loop round. Off we go. Yeah, you can just see it in this side here, just peeping out at you. The trees have really taken that one back. Now this one gives you a bit more of an idea of how it would have sort of looped. You've got these sloping sides here. and then you've got the actual area of the bunker inside. Obviously the roof's been collapsed in. I mean, they must have used some fair old dynamite and charges for blow these. They're probably hot stocks that they had left over and at war. Had to do something with it, didn't they? Couldn't send it back. Also, I should imagine there was a little bit of a thing on Allies' side of destroying things that Nazis had built. So call it vandalism if you like, official vandalism. But we're not far now off these bunkers as we can actually have a walk round. And as I say, it's more of a wooded area, and then they've made it into an area for education and that. So that bit's better. These are sort of just, as you can see, they're just stuck in woods and you've got to walk round and push your way in. So I'm now going to squeeze past Mrs H, the lovely camera woman, and take the doggies with me. Come on, girls. Not far now. Well, we've made it to the best part, or the most open part. This bunker here beside me, as you can see, I think this would have spanned this road as we stood on because there's some remains over there, look. So probably underneath me here is what would have been the main part of the bunker, and they've just filled it in, just leaving that little bit and fencing it off. Well, we'll just make our way up here now and head into the woods. As I said, there's some like little posts and that was set up as an educational purpose, and you can look through them until they got vandalised. Not by us, I might add. Now, something that's appeared since we was last here is these audio guards. You see the same sort of thing in England where you're scanning the QR code, and away you go. You can listen to it on your iPhone as you're walking around, and it'll tell you about things. This one as we're actually at here is Station 7, or Station 7, however they pronounce it. And they're a good idea, but the only problem is, are these actually in German only, or are they in English as well? As we've not got a mobile phone signal out here, we can't test it. We're sort of struggling. But it doesn't stop us having a look round and enjoying these, does it? And then I can upload them at a later date, should we ever get Wi-Fi in our place. These are those little binocular things I was telling you about. The idea was that there was inside there'd be all pictures taken of this area throughout the year, and then you'd look through and you could spin them round and see it go through the seasons, this area. Unfortunately, some buggers smashed them up, so you know, somebody's vandalised them. Quite sad, you don't really see a lot of that, especially out here. You know, so whoever's come in here and done it, I don't know. Stainless steel as well, I'm surprised scrapmen haven't had them. Do they do that over here? I don't know. So on to the bunker itself. There we go, I've just ripped my t-shirt climbing over the fence. See the things I do for you hot potters. Really, coming exploring wasn't a good idea in a white top, was it? In hindsight, never mind. Well, I'll show you around the inside now. And here we are, stood on what's left of the roof. Let's see if I can lift us up and show you down inside it. As I say, this is probably the best one out of them all, or at least the one that you can get into with only just ripping your t-shirt a little bit.
No, they've destroyed them all at the end of the road.
And here we are inside it. It's a shame really that they've been destroyed, because it would have been nice to have seen one left intact. But I suppose the Allies, they had their reasons and probably feared a resurgence in German military power. Yeah, definitely would have been inside. I mean, here you can see the reinforcing and the strength of these bunkers. Don't know whether 15 men or less would have lived in this one, but you know, it would have employed some men, which also solves unemployment, I suppose, draft them into army. Well, we're going to get out of here now, because we're not supposed to be in here. And the view from inside the bunker, that's where we've just come through there, near that big lump of concrete. And that's where we're going to head, down that path there. So I'll have to negotiate this fence again with Mrs H's help this time, instead of getting myself hooked up. I don't know, I showed myself up there really, but not to worry, it's all a bit of fun, something to look back on in years to come. Now, a little interesting one, while I was in there and I climbed over that fence trespassing, two Germans came up, man and wife, and we thought, here we go, you know, it's going to be Achtung, betreten, Angela verboten and all this carry on. But no, what they actually did, they asked Mrs H what there was. They didn't even know what there was, you know, and when Mrs H mentioned the war, which you don't mention with the Germans, she seemed okay about it, and babbled on at her husband. He was interested in it. He probably thought, I wish I was him and I had balls to go over there, but I'm German and I can't go. If the sign says no, I mustn't go. But yeah, so it's surprising that there's all these things here and local people don't even know what they are. It must have been one of those things that they just didn't talk about it. Where we in England, we get off on it, don't we? We love talking about the war, especially Mr H. Right, on we go, on that note. So we're at the last bunker for a little bit of a walk. Apparently, according to that, station 6, there's another 5 that way, but we've come to the road and we're not going to go any further, because I think we've come up now about 2 or 3 miles. So we're going to turn round and head back to our digs. But yeah, they're quite interesting, these. Although they all look similar, they're all in varying degrees of decay. Now, one thing that I know a lot of you will be saying, especially Justin, hello sir if you're watching this, is why don't you get your metal detector out, Mr H, and we'll have a look round them bunkers. There's bound for be coins and bits and pieces round there. You've got to be very careful in Germany, because Germany's made up of states. It's not just one big country like UK is. And the state that we're in, the Rhineland-Pfalz state, you need a permit to actually metal detect. So I am going to do a little bit. I've scouted a few places out there in the forest, unofficial like, but I'm not going to do it on here, because this is a main walkway and we've seen a few people. You know, that couple that I mentioned earlier when I climbed over the fence, and I think some guy bombed through in his car, although you're not supposed to do that, you know, it's supposed to be free of vehicles in here. And one thing that we found out when we was in a couple of years ago, we actually made a little fire in the woods. We decided to have a little campfire and have a barbecue. And some guy in a vehicle went past, and next thing, police was there and they came over, asked us what we were doing and told us to put fire out. They were okay about it, in fairness, but it just shows you that in some instances there's still a nation of grasses, you know, and nosy neighbours. I'm not saying all Germans are. So we're going to head back now, and we're going to go. We have a little area that we sit in called our Landerblick. I think we actually carved our names in it in 2013. So we're going to head back that way now. So let's go. Now, something you'll see a lot of in Germany, in the forests, when you're wandering around, is platforms with sheds on top of them like this one. Now, when we first came here, we actually thought as there was bird ads. But what they are, they're for hunters to shoot deer out of. I mean, this is one of the Gucci ones. This is actually set on scaffolding. There's some really cheap ones if you've not got much money, and I'll show you one of them where they're just like a shed or an outside toilet sat on top of some pieces of 3x2. But yeah, that's what they're for. This really is a Gucci one. It's all felted up. It's got some proper roof on it, and it looks like there's some lights on there, probably, to shine into this area here. You know, and spot the deer, or I think they do bird hunting as well, although we've never come across any, says Mr H as he stood in this area. But yeah, if any of you are wondering what those are, if you ever come here, that's what they're for. It fooled us for a good while. We just thought there was all nature lovers. There's actually a gas bottle attached to that. And then there's like some screening there in the middle of that picture, the idea being the canard behind it. Well, I'm going to get back to Mrs H because she wouldn't venture in here. And back over there is where all the bunkers are. So I'm going to head in that direction. The middle of the range for the hunting man about town, or woman, don't discriminate. And I'm now going to show you the bottom of the range for the budget man or woman who likes hunting. So for those of you who haven't got much money and you fancy a little bit of hunting, this is what you'd have to sit in. It's just a piece of tin on 4 legs with a seat in it. Still, it does the job, I suppose. Rough it a little bit, you know, a bit wore, a little bit wear. That's what you'd have to do it in. And then, for those of you who are really low in the pocket, we have the budget economy hunting lodge, which is for the hunting man or woman. Once again, very basic, but it does the job. And there we have the hunting lodge range. So if you're ever in Germany and you fancy doing a little spot of hunting, it's either the Gucci or the El Cheapo. Up to you guys. Well folks, we've made it to the Eiffel Rhineland-Pfalz. This is the end of our walk for today. We've done about 15 kilometres, which I think, does that estimate to about 6 miles? I don't really know my conversions there. Anyway, that's something for you folks to look up and tell me in the comments below when I finally get this video uploaded, when we finally get some Wi-Fi. Anyway, we're going to head back to the digs now. I'm going to wash Lucy off because she's been in some smelly water, and I'll sit outside with a beer. That's a little thing that me and Lucy have going. Anyway, until the next time, which will hopefully be tomorrow, it is. Bye bye for now.